I just took a global journey across the world by myself to attend Creamfields Hong Kong, so let's talk about it. Yes, so I just went to Creamfields Hong Kong by myself. This was my very first time in Hong Kong. Not in Asia though. I know that it's relatively safe to travel by yourself in Asia, so that's why I had no problem going by myself when nobody else could join me. Okay, I've already done the vlog for this entire video, so I'm gonna link it up here and let's get into it. So Creamfields Hong Kong was held April 1st and 2nd at the Central Harbor Front event space. Okay, yes, the Central Harbor Front event space on Hong Kong Island, right up against Victoria Harbor and pretty much like the downtown area. So stunning location. I loved it. It gave me ultra Miami vibes. Like if you've ever been there, then you know being at Bayfront Park on the water with downtown Miami in the background, it was those same kind of vibes. My ticket for a 2-day ticket, I did get it a little late. I did not buy the tickets when they went on sale. I probably could have saved a lot of money, but my ticket came out to $255 US. So in my opinion, that is a little bit expensive for a 2-day festival, but at the same time, the lineup was pretty stacked. I mean, kinda. I had a lot of good artists that I really liked. Calvin Harris, NK, John Summit, and Above and Beyond. Like, those are the 4 that got me to go to that festival. And there was a lot more too, but I don't know, $255 for a festival in Asia just seems kind of a lot. I would expect that more like if it was in the United States, but again, it's my fault. I didn't buy the tickets right away. I did talk about the venue a little bit. So yeah, the venue was in a great location. I mentioned that it was along Victoria Harbor and like the downtown looking area of Hong Kong Island. And so it was super easy to navigate. And the way that I got there, so I stayed about 20 minutes from the venue. There are hotels right outside of the event space, but they're very expensive. So I stayed, and I'm talking like $300-400 a night type expensive. So I found a hotel that was within like a 20-minute walk if I really wanted to do that. I live in South Beach without a car, so I'm willing to walk like 30-45 minutes sometimes. So I didn't mind a 20-minute walk, but I actually never walked to or from the festival. So to get to the festival, the first day I took an Uber because I was dressed up in American flag gear and I just didn't want to draw too much attention. So I took an Uber and then on the way out of there, I took an Uber as well. And then getting there the next day, I started to walk and then I was like, I don't want to do this. So then I hailed a taxi, took a taxi. And then on the way out of there, I didn't come straight home, I actually ended up going out. So getting home outside of the venue was different that night. But to Hong Kong does have a really good like metro system, but it probably takes, from where I was staying, it would have taken me like the same amount of time to walk or to like walk and then get a cab. So that's why I did the cab route. I didn't even look into the bus options, but again, the public transportation there is very affordable and easy to use. So maybe a bus could have been the better option. But basically the event did not provide transportation. It was up to you to get to and from. The venue was really small and easy to navigate. So it did have all of the basic things that a festival should have, like bathrooms, free water, that was great. And there were even people at one point walking around with pitchers from the free water place, like making sure people had plenty of water to drink. And if you didn't have like a refillable water bottle, you could go up to the stands that were giving out the water and they were giving out cups. So I thought that was really nice that you could just go up and get a cup of water if you didn't have a water bottle or weren't buying them. And I've never seen that at any other festival. And then so they had regular porta potties. I didn't see any like AC'd bathroom trailers that sometimes we see here in VIP. I don't know if they just didn't have them, but I didn't see any. There was sections for VIP, but from what I could tell, I didn't see that they had their own bathrooms. Creamfields had a full list of prohibited items, and I'll show that here. and it was extensive, like the kind of things that you see at a normal festival of what not to bring in. Something I thought was weird was no umbrellas. Like it was raining the entire time that I was in Hong Kong, or like super drizzly, like water was coming down at some point when I was there. So when they said no umbrellas, I was like, what is that about? Like, and I talked to a person that I met there, and she said that that Hong Kong has decided that an umbrella is a weapon, so that's why we couldn't take it into the festival. But other than that, security didn't check. So the first day that I got there, they had like a piece of paper, like the standard size of backpack that you can bring in, a purse. So they put this up against my backpack to make sure that it was within that size, and they just like peeked inside, but they didn't rifle or go through anything. And so you honestly could take anything in, and I saw it. The second day, I saw 3 different instances of people drinking entire bottles of, like they snuck in huge, like actual size bottles of liquor. Like I saw a Belvedere, I saw a Sky, I saw a whiskey. So they didn't care. Like they really weren't checking. So if people were able to sneak in these huge bottles of liquor, like not even little pints, then who knows what else that they snuck in. There were 2 stages, one main stage production and then a smaller stage. On Saturday, the smaller stage had hardstyle music. I don't like hardstyle. It's not one of those types of genres that I can sit and listen to for a little bit and appreciate it for what it is. Absolutely not. I'm not even gonna go to the hardstyle stage. So I didn't at all the first day, which was fine because day 1 had all of the artists that I was there for, pretty much. Above and Beyond, John Summit, MK, and Calvin Harris. So I was fine staying at main stage the whole day. Now Sunday, they did switch up the little stage to have trance artists, which thank you, because the main stage artists were not hitting. So if you followed me on Instagram, I didn't even have anybody that I really wanted to see on the second day. So I'll put the day-by-day lineups as well so you can see. And I asked for recommendations. We all know who the hell Tiesto is, whatever, and Chainsmokers, but they've never been like my top favorite artists, and I don't even see them at most festivals that I go to. So I'm like, who am I gonna see? So I was suggested Crank That and Slushy at the main stage. I didn't like either of those sets. And then I gave Morton a shot, didn't like it. Bassjackers a shot, didn't like it. They kept playing a lot of music that wasn't their own. I honestly don't even know what their music sounds like, because every other song that they played was songs that you would hear on a top 40. And if you've kept up with all of my videos at this point, you're probably tired of hearing me say that I'm over that shit, because I've talked about it so much. But in one set, I heard Linkin Park, Lady Gaga, Eminem, The Weeknd. That's fine if you're listening to a radio, but I'm at an EDM festival. I don't want to hear all of that, especially in one set. Calvin Harris was my favorite set of that whole weekend. I was excited to see him because I hadn't seen him since 2016, and so I was like, all right, let's see what this is about. And that was my favorite set of the whole weekend. And then Above and Beyond and John Summit, those are my top 3. So I see John Summit pretty much every chance that I get. Luckily for me, I live in South Florida, so he rolls through here a lot. So that was a good set, rode the rail for him. But that wasn't my favorite John Summit set ever. My favorite John Summit set I've ever listened to was the EDC Orlando 2022. That's a good one. So if you're looking for a John Summit set, listen to that. And then Above and Beyond, they're always a good time. I've never rode the rail for them, so that was really special. And they're the ones that made me shed a tear at Creamfields. I'm a crier, something always makes me cry. I'm always interested to see what moment is going to be the one to make me cry, and it hit me like a ton of bricks when Gratitude by Above and Beyond came on, and then from there I just kept crying on and off throughout the night. Just because I'm so happy to be there, like I couldn't believe it. Some new artists that I discovered are new to me that I was recommended and I actually really enjoyed. They were all at the trance stage. So John O'Callaghan, Ali and Fila, and Billy Gillies, like those were all really cool artists to check out and hear for the very first time. And the whole trance vibe, like I like trance, so sign me up. I'm always down for some trance. Some other things that the festival had to offer was a Sephora hair and makeup station. So I know you can have access to those things when you're in VIP at a festival, and I think it's usually included in the ticket price, but I don't know to the extent of makeup. Like when I see those hair and makeup stations at festivals, it's like glitter or braiding your hair. This was a full-on makeover, and I didn't look too much into the details to see how much it actually cost, but to see a full-ass Sephora tent and everybody getting their hair and makeup done and also like getting the face shims, I thought that was really cool. So just a nice touch to the festival. There really wasn't a lot of food options. I love to eat at festivals. That's one of the things I always check out, but there really wasn't that many options. I know there was like a pizza shop, I ate that one day, and then Shake Shack, so I ate that. And they had like maybe one or two other things, maybe I think of like more of the local cuisine, like you could get like chicken satay, stuff like that. I saw like popcorn nachos, you know, nothing crazy, but that was it. They only had like, I think no more than 4 food stalls, and then the bars. So I didn't drink day one. And thank God, because those drink lines were out of control. I've never seen drink lines like that. And then it wasn't until the next day that I saw that the bars are actually split up by liquor. So the second day I did drink because I made a friend and he was buying me drinks, so thank you. But yeah, we were starting to walk to a bar and I noticed that it said gin. And then I look over, the other one says vodka. So those are the two that I actually paid attention to. I don't know if one had whiskey or if the other one had tequila, I don't know, but the two that I saw was separated by gin and vodka. So I thought that was interesting because I've never seen anything like that. And then the way to buy food or alcohol is you had to buy tokens. So you had to go and exchange either cash or credit for tokens, and one token is 50 Hong Kong dollars, and then that translates to or converts to 6 to 7 US dollars, give or take. So let's see, the easiest way, I mean, I bought a pizza one day that was 75 tokens, and then I bought a cheeseburger the next day that was 75 tokens, and then the second day, the drinks, it was 2 tokens per drink. So that's about $12 to $14 per drink. So that was the token system, and then there was no refunds. So you either spent that money or you didn't get it back. But I guess that's no different than having like the cashless system when you like top up your wristband. But I think you do get, or most companies give you back the refund when it is like cashless options. But yeah, token concept was a little interesting. I've never seen anything like that. I don't think I took a picture of one because they were small. I thought I was gonna lose it. So one token was like this, and then they would break it in half. Like it was meant to be broken in half. For like the items that were 75 tokens or, you know, whatever. Since one token was 50, I think I'm talking too much and I'm over the token talk. So that's how you pay for stuff, tokens. I did mention already the venue did have free water in 2 different locations. So if you didn't want to buy a bottle of water or drink the alcohol or sodas and things like that, free water was an option. Normally when I make these recap videos, I'm sitting in my brand new merch shirt. This has nothing to do with Hong Kong because the merch was kind of awful. I remember that they had, the only 2 clothing options was like a polo shirt. It looked like a golf shirt that said Creamfields Hong Kong. I'm not like a polo, like cuffed sleeve type of person, so I didn't want that. Like I would have got it if it was just like a plain t-shirt like this. And then they had a bunch of t-shirts that said Chainsmokers, like no other artist. So I don't know how merch works. I don't know if it's the artist that's like, hey, sell all my stuff, or if the venue or the event's the one that picks it. Somebody let me know. So yeah, Chainsmokers was the only artist that they were advertising, and there were few other random things. I think there was like a hat, shoelaces, and sunglasses that said Creamfields. But again, I didn't want any of that, so I didn't get any merch. I was a little bummed out with the merch selection. One of the things that I like to look at when I go to these foreign festivals are the outfits. So a lot of people in America don't understand that we have a different rave culture here than other places. And so I've made a lot of videos being at these places, and the first thing they said is, why doesn't anybody dress up? Not everybody does what we do here in America, so we should already know that. I hate that mentality. So yes, I, paid attention this time and like took notes of, not took notes, but just kind of paid a little bit more attention to what people were wearing. So I saw, rave bras and tutus. The face gems are very popular. Face gems and glitter with boys and girls is very popular over there. They're a little bit more conservative though. If they are dressed up, there's definitely no rave booty at all. No pasties, no overexposed breasts, none of that. A lot of the crowd is casual though, and then the people that do dress up, they're a little bit more conservative is what I've seen. And I don't know if it's a festival thing or maybe it's just like a Hong Kong thing. They still have like their bellies out and thighs, but definitely no rave booty, no overexposed boobies. And so when I go to these festivals, if I'm with other people, I really don't care, and I kind of just wear what I want. But when I'm by myself, I do take a more conservative route. So definitely no rave booty for me. I wouldn't just wear pasties. So you could see what I wore to this festival, like a skirt that I made. I did want to represent where I was from, so I did get an American flag top, but nothing's overly exposed. And then the next day I did wear pants, and my boobies were a little bit more out the next day in that top, but still nothing. You guys have seen my outfits here, so I didn't take it that route. I said, just be a little bit more conservative. I am by myself. I don't want to draw too much attention, but overall I felt fine. Like nobody harassed me in there. So yeah, it's cool to see how different cultures dress up to festivals. It was still cool to see that they're over there still making rave bras, because that's what we were doing over here 2014 and 15 and like 16 era. So I love seeing it, so I'm glad that I saw it there. Moving on to the attendees and the crowd. I was not the only foreigner there. I think in general, a lot of foreigners just live in Hong Kong. So it wasn't like I was just the only one there that looked like me, thankfully. I think I blended in fairly well, no other than me wearing an American flag top. But here's the thing. America is such an individualistic society. We think everybody knows everything about us. Like, think about it. Do you know what other flags of other countries look like? Not all of them. So there's people that probably didn't even realize that I was wearing an American flag top. So nobody cares, So I blended in fairly nice. Nobody paid me any mind. Nobody was coming up to me and asking me, oh, you're not from here, because there were so many other foreigners there. And I was listening out for accents to see if I could pick up an American accent, and I only did one time. I met two other Americans that also happened to be from Florida. They're from Orlando, but they actually lived in, I think, Shanghai is what they said. So they're actually living over there in China, but it was cool to like meet two other Americans, because those were the only Americans that I met the entire time that I was in Hong Kong. For the most part, people just kind of keep to themselves. I did, the first friend that I met the first day is because my friend Henry connected us. They met at Tomorrowland. Like, I freaking love this community. So the girl that I met up with the first day, we were connected through a friend, and then I met some of her friends. And then the second day, I met a boy just walking through the crowd, and we headed off. So, but other than that, like, I didn't meet anybody else. I had a few people come and stop and talk to me. It's like, hey, I like your outfit, or you look good, girl, things like that. I have one instance, like at the very beginning of the day, on day one, this guy, I saw him like taking pictures with a few people, and then he asked to take a picture with me, and it wasn't until after the picture was being taken that I saw him doing this. So I'm like, wait, does he just do that in all the pictures, or was he doing that being like, fuck this American girl? I don't know, doesn't matter. But other than that, yeah, like, people left me alone. The few people that I did meet were really nice, and I'm glad that I met them. It's usually easy to make friends at these festivals. And what else? The crowd. So it got crowded at some points. There was no excuse me or anything like that. It could be the language thing, or they just don't care maybe. But yeah, so I'd be standing there and constantly just kind of like pushed or shoved, but nobody's saying excuse me or let me get through to anybody. So that just may be the vibe there. Nothing serious though. It's not like I was ever pushed completely out of the way or stepped on. So no harm, no foul. One thing that was super obvious was how drunk that people got there. They like to drink, and I guess that was, should have told me, I learned that, I guess, the first day when I saw those drink lines out of control. I don't know the drug situation in Hong Kong. I myself don't do drugs, so I wasn't trying to like look for any, and I just don't know how and what they do or don't do over there, but it was very noticeable that they were drinking. Like I'd mentioned before in the video, I saw full bottles of liquor out there, and people just so fucked up, stumbling over each other, passed out. Like I saw one thing, I guess we'll get into it now, about I was sitting down resting, and I look over and this guy and this girl are carrying their friend in to like lay her down in this chill area, and she is fucked up, and it's daylight, like it is so early in the day, and they're trying to give her water, keep her head up, but she's just fucked up. A staff member notices it, calls over the medics, and then immediately swarm in, and the friends are like, no, she's fine, she's drinking water, and they're like, no, we need to check on this girl. I started running her vitals and like put one of those foil blankets over her. I don't know exactly what it's called, but I didn't stick around long enough to see what had happened. Like I just kind of wanted to get out of there, but that was the only incidence of like medical attention that I saw, but a lot of other people like should have needed it, I feel. I mean, people being like dragged through the crowds by their friends, completely passed out, stumbling over each other. Just, you could see it in their face. Like, I've never seen so many just completely shit-faced people in my life. And hopefully everything and everybody is okay, but I just thought that was kind of interesting, just how hammered that they got. My final thoughts on this festival. I had an amazing time going to Creamfields Hong Kong by myself. I felt so safe the entire time. Hong Kong in general is a very safe place, so if you're looking for somewhere to travel by yourself to, go to that one. I liked the location of the venue. For the most part, I really liked the artists that went. Like I could have just went day one and I was fine not going day two for the artist. If you do go, if you know you want to go, buy the ticket like when they first go on sale so you can get the cheapest ones possible. I do recommend going because I had the greatest time. I, however, most likely will not be going back just because I want to keep seeing the world. As good of a time I had in Hong Kong, and there was a lot of things I missed out on in general in the city, there's just so many other places I want to go to in the world than to go back to a place that I've already been to and spent a lot of money in. So that's the only reason why I probably won't go back to Hong Kong. I'm going to show you that I want to go to the OG Creamfields, the ones in the UK, and then the other Creamfields around Asia. I've never been to Taiwan, I've never been to Vietnam, and then also the one in Chile. Yo quiero ir. So that's the reason why I wouldn't go back to Creamfields Hong Kong, is because I want to go everywhere else. Thank you so much for watching and coming along on this journey. I had so much fun at Creamfields and in Hong Kong. And again, if you missed the Creamfields vlog, it's going to be at the end slide. You'll link directly to it. So please, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more festivals, food, and flying. I still have all of my Hong Kong vlogs to get through because I did so many other things besides just go to this really fun festival. So thank you again, and don't forget to follow me on TikTok and Instagram at electric_ollie. Bye.